Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is Hairy Muppet. Welcome to another Daily Masters cast. And we've gone outside the WCS a little bit because, unfortunately, I don't think there's any ZvZ games in the entire WCS Season 2 finals. I didn't actually look in the different region final tournaments, but I figured, what the hell. So we've just gone outside. We've gone into one of the ZvZ Cups, one of the recent ones, and found ourselves a ZvZ. So up the top left side of the map, it is going to be Zervas, and down the bottom right side of the map, it is going to be Nerchio, our red Zerg. So we've got a ZvZ going on here, and I feel like we haven't done one for a while. It's probably actually only been about 3 or 4 days because ZvZ's all over the place, but I mean, it's always great to do another one because ZvZs are such an awesome matchup just in the very, very early game to see what sort of crazy stuff they get up to, what sort of crazy builds they're thinking of, and yeah, just generally how good they are. So we're going to be keeping an eye out for very, very early changes in their build style. Now, right now, they're pretty much identical, although it does, no, yes, pretty much identical, both going for a pull before hatch build, and I would fully expect both of them to get a hatchery at the 16 worker mark because it just makes so much sense. There we go, there's the second worker going down for each player, and yeah, there we go, there's the workers coming out for each player, all with almost identical timing to get that hatchery out. And it really comes down to about the 4 to 5 minute mark when the builds start to differentiate, when you start to say, alright, is this player going to go for early banelings? Are they going to go for early roaches? Are they going to go for something crazy like fast infestor tech, which, you know, you don't usually see, but I mean, we have seen some crazy fast swarm host builds against a Protoss player, I believe it was. So yeah, why not? Most of the time it's going to be either very fast banelings, very fast roaches, or a push for a third base and then roaches off that. And yeah, because that gives you a little bit more economy. It delays your roaches by another 2 or 3 minutes, but you've got a lot more solid economy down when you do that. The alternate, of course, is getting the roach warren out off 2 bases, and then you start to get a bit of roaches off there, but definitely you want to get the third base as soon as possible. That's one of the things when you're playing a ZvZ. Do not be afraid to get a third base. As long as you know that your opponent is going roaches, you should be getting a third base. If they're going for some sort of baneling sort of offensive really, really fast, then maybe it's not such a good idea because banelings can wipe out your workers quite fast, and just a massive amount of lings can do so much damage to a hatchery so fast. So it's very, very hard to push that off. I mean, queens have no hope at all. With roaches are equally as terrifying, but you've got a little bit more time. You can get lings extremely, extremely fast, but roaches take a little bit more time, and usually, by the time they get roaches out, you'll start to get your own roaches. You may not have enough roaches that they do, but you'll have the economic advantage and you'll have the defensive advantage, so you'll be able to pump them out a lot faster. Now, it looks like in this game that Nerchio is going for a lot more aggressive style with the baneling nest coming out, and Zervas is going for a heavier economy sort of build. So I would not be surprised to see him getting a third base out fairly quick, and yeah, we will just have to see what happens. Personally, I think that Nerchio is going to put in a lot of pressure in the next couple of minutes. He hasn't actually built that many, I feel like. He's actually, I thought he was getting some stuff. He got the baneling nest, he was getting the speed down, but he didn't actually build a ton of lings off that, so deciding that economy was still definitely the way to go. And yeah, now it looks like he's, did he cancel that baneling nest? No, he's got the baneling nest here, but he's not getting baneling speed or anything like that. He cancelled it, he accidentally got a second one, but Yes, that was definitely not a good idea. And here we go, the Ling's coming over to have a look, see if there's a third base there. Not seeing one. So that's very, very good news for him. And yeah, so far both players, I mean, Nerchio was looking to get some early sort of bailing stuff going, but he's just basically tech switched into roaches. I don't know if it's even a tech switch if he hasn't actually built any bailings, but he's definitely moved over into the roach tech. He's decided to play it safe, and Zervas was already going for that stuff. So I think Zervas got his roaches out a little bit sooner. Getting his upgrades up a little bit sooner. Nerchio does have the advantage of having some of that Ling tech out. Zervas just completely skipped the Ling tech, and he's got his roaches a little bit sooner. But Nerchio, not having built a ton of Lings, has kept up on the work account. He has definitely evened out with Zervas, and he's actually got his third base out quite a bit quicker than Zervas. So I feel like these Lings over here are probably making this a little bit of a pain, and he decided to get a few roaches out before he decided to go for that third base. And now, having gotten the third base down, he's going to use his very, very large amount of roaches to try and move out and actually make something happen. He's got 7 more than Nerchio, with Nerchio building 9 roaches. I mean, Zervas is always going to have more roaches, but it's not going to matter because a very decent amount of his roaches are always going to be back at his base, because that's where they get built from. So yes, that is the defensive advantage that Nerchio will have, and Zervas is going to have to get out of there, and he may just be waiting for reinforcements before going in. If that's the case, I still don't think he's going to make anything happen here. He just I mean, he's got the numbers. He's got 24 over 21 to potentially make it work, but the roaches will never get there in time. And Nerchio, sensing that things are going his way, is going to switch into building a ton of drones, as well as just a small amount of roaches just to sort of cap off his army, make sure that he's still on top in terms of the roach numbers. Another roach army going to come through here, but they have a very, very awful position. You do not want to be running into a concave on the high ground. And this overlord over here is going to be keeping an eye on their movement all over the place. Nerchio actually pushing out a little bit, trying to make something happen here, maybe catch these guys by surprise, but no, Zervas is definitely going to be aware of it. This is catching him by surprise, actually. He probably can't attack here because he's not in a very good position, but he still loses a couple of his roaches, and here we go. He's forming the concave, and now he has to be in a defensive position. You can see he's getting a ton of roaches out. Meanwhile, Nerchio getting a bunch of workers and a hydralisk den. So Nerchio trying to stay one step ahead in this game, and I feel like he's doing a pretty good job so far. Just scaring Zervas back into a defensive mindset there, but Zervas not going to be completely defensive, not going to build just pure roach. He is going to be getting a hydralisk den at the same time. He's only going to be a little bit behind, so far pretty good. I mean, Nerchio is about 4 workers ahead, but that's not really too much. He's going to have a slight advantage on getting the hydras out, but it's only going to be very, very slight. And so far, both of these players, excuse me, is just so close, very, very close at this point in the game. So no sizable differences you can really tell between them. I mean, there's 4 workers. The Hydra is out a little bit faster for Nerchio. The third base is out a little bit faster. So I suppose you could say he's a tiny bit in the lead. But if you had to say that, it would only be a tiny bit. I mean, just a little bit in front. And I don't think, unless they meet up in the middle of the map, I don't think a little bit is really going to make a difference, because you're always disadvantaged when you're attacking into your opponent's base. And Nerchio had no hope of winning that battle. So he's going to have to back off here. I don't actually know where all of his... There we go. All his hydralisks are back at his base, and he's got to start moving them out now. Maybe hope to engage in the middle, but even then that's going to come down to the position he's in. He's got a beautiful opportunity for the flank here if he gets his hydralisks in range, and he's going to go for it, but he's only going to catch the tail end. Zervas senses it coming, and he decides to almost try and move up the ramp, and Nerchio sort of backs off, but Zervas has not given up this push here. He's forming a nice concave down on the bottom side of the ramp, and meanwhile he's sending about 6 units over there to hit that hatchery, and Nerchio cannot give up this position with those forces down the bottom, so I think he was forced to cancel there, or he may have actually lost that base, so quite bad from his point of view. But he is going to move over and hit this base, and Zervas's forces are just way out of position, so there's no way he's going to be able to save this, but he may be able to cancel it. There we go, there's the cancel. Actually, Nerchio may have cancelled this other one. He just may have had the drone knocked out by the roaches. Here we go. He might have a good position there. He actually got the Hydras in front, which is not where you want your army to be, with the Hydras out in front. But he's getting a nice bit of concave here. But Nerchio's got so many forces that he's able to spill out about even. And Nerchio really has the Hydralisk advantage here by about 6 Hydras, I feel like. And I feel like that Hydralisk advantage is going to get him the victory in this battle, and perhaps in the game as a total. Zervas building a absolute ton of roaches, and yeah, Nerchio trying to give Zervas a little bit of a tip or something like that. And I mean, I think it's just down to the Hydras. I don't know if the split really had too much to do with it. It probably had something, but yeah, the Hydras definitely. It just had a vastly superior number of Hydras in that army. And yeah, I mean, both players, the upgrades are the same for both players. Yeah, this is a little bit cheeky, actually getting this base over there. He might be able to get away with this. I mean, Nerchio in a very bad position here, but he's trying to make it work. He's still got the superior Hydra numbers, I feel like. Yeah, superior Hydra numbers. The reinforcement advantage going to be working to Zervas's favour here, and he does manage to push Nerchio off. And Nerchio, I suppose you could say, he's in a very good position at the moment, but it comes down to this base, because right now, I mean, Zervas is 1 base up, and unless Nerchio actually takes care of that base, then Zervas is going to have himself quite a lead here. Well, not, you know, in a few minutes he will anyway. But anyway, Nerchio is obviously suspecting something is up, or he's just going for a check. He moves in. He's going to take this base out. Nothing Zervas can really do to stop this. And there we go. He's going to try and force an engagement, but Nerchio is going to take that out and just sort of pull away there. And so the army's not really hitting each other, but Zervas could not scare these forces away from yeah, taking out that base. And now Zervas instantly going for the 4th, Nerchio going for the same, and it's going to come down to what they can do in the middle of the map. It's still Roach Hydra at this point. Nobody's gone for any sort of higher tech options, and yeah, it's going to come down to another battle. I don't know, but I think Nerchio still has the Hydralisk advantage, but Zervas has the Roach advantage, although they were off to the side a bit, so they weren't in the perfect position to be defending against those Hydras. You want the Roaches in front of your Hydra army, not all bunched off to the side, and most of them were off to the side there, so not that good at all. So we will have to see how Zervas can do here. He really wants to keep the momentum on his side, or at least get the momentum on his side by taking out this 4th base. He's done it once before, but he's going to find it a lot harder to do it this time. And meanwhile, most of the forces actually going over, and he does not have an overseer here, so this one Roach is going to be buried, and now he has to move his entire army back here to defend this location. This small group of Roaches going for the main, the rest going for the expansion, and yeah, Nerchio trying to cut him off. He may be able to win this engagement, but I feel like there's going to be losing a lot of workers, and that is never good. And here we go with a couple of Roaches coming down here, but some reinforcements going to be taking care of that nicely. And Nerchio actually being hit a little bit due to his own ramp being so funneling his forces in, but he's still got the overwhelming army force here. And yeah, defensive advantage all the way, man. Those guys were just dying bit by bit, and he has actually done quite a bit of worker damage. He's definitely evened it out, and definitely got himself a little bit back on top, but he has failed to take out the 4th base of Nerchio, and his own 4th base is not looking like it's going to be in a good position anytime, although Zervas has got a half decent force here, and that is going to be able to take this base out nice and easily. Although Nerchio moving his workers away, and Zervas not so lucky. He didn't see that coming, and his workers all go down. So that is going to be very, very bad. That gives Nerchio quite the advantage in terms of the worker numbers. And now he's going to see this base off. Zervas managing to get the workers away in time. Base is still going to go down. Meanwhile, he's assembled quite a decent amount of Hydras, and with 2 Spore Crawlers here, he is going to fend this attack off, I think, where Zervas just couldn't do it. He couldn't fend it off on his 3rd base. But no Observer, no Overseer over here. And that is going to be very unfortunate, because it's going to give those guys a bit of time to get back up and do some harassment. So he really needs to get the Overseer over there as soon as possible. But right now, Nerchio in a great position. You can see he's 50 armies, 50 supply ahead. So he's sort of running in here. He's not very good from a tactical point of view, but he feels like he has the numbers to just go in and just wipe everything out. And I gotta say, I have to agree with him there, because he just did an awesome amount of damage. He had the upgrade advantage there as well. 2 armor versus 1 armor from Zervas. And really, really great job there. Very, very close game for the entire game. But in the end, just managed to do some nice stuff. And managed to get a slight lead. And just kept pushing that lead. Kept making it work. I really feel like the battle over here, where Zervas he had, I think, more roaches at that point, but he just didn't quite have the Hydras, and Nerchio managed to beat him there. Both players just went for broke, neither retreated, and Nerchio just wiped him out. It looked like it was going to be close, but the significant number of Hydras that Nerchio had eventually doing the job, and from then on, Nerchio just kept his lead, did a fantastic job, and eventually pulled out the GG. So congratulations to him. And thank you very much for watching this Daily Masters game. This has been Hairy Muppet. I hope you enjoyed this game.